to the audio show.
I'm really hoping that Danielle and Keysha can kind of, speak some life into Amber and just, so she can stop with all some of the nonsense that she has going on. Let's get into this.
Real net, girl.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, we know y'all don't like Shayla. Got it.
We don't know why you still dealing with her.
I mean, girl, you know that she's gonna get you in more trouble.
Oh my God.
She's gonna add to your responsibilities. You're already mothering her child.
Okay, remember I told you that we were here going over the schedule. We're not.
For what? Why you not call up on the phone? And why is she going over the schedule with you and she's not going over the schedule with Anthony? That's what I'm talking about, is the softness. You cannot be selling me this and then at the same time telling me, oh, what I'm going to do is if they want to, cheat on me, then that's on them. That's on them. It doesn't satisfy me. I'm sorry, Angela, I can say this does not satisfy me. It doesn't satisfy me. Your girl's still being an idiot again. She's still being a dumb.
Besties again.
Yeah, but do we really have to meet and kiki and have a glass of wine to go over the schedule? Or, girl, drop it in the calendar.
Thank you very much, Keysha. Or send it in a text. You don't need for me to go over a schedule. That's way too much.
I don't want to end up being this old, bitter woman that's just mad at everything in life for the rest of my life.
You know how you don't become that person? You set boundaries and you stick to them. And when somebody gets you in trouble and they hurt you, you have to set a boundary.
Okay, Miss Danielle.
See? So in other words, you get advice again. Let's see how she will respond. That was the most solid advice anyone has given Amber on the show so far. Set boundaries. But of course, this are the thing with your girl, Angela Atkinson. She not listen to nobody. And so when people is giving her the flack, like when O'Neal give the business, this is why I'm give the business so often, because Amber does not listen. She thinks she knows everything. Thinks you know everything.
Did you forget how you reacted when you saw Abigail?
Okay, I did not forget that. I'm not speaking that I have experience here. I'm saying that, maybe.
But she also not brunching with Abigail.
I understand.
Yes,
that.
thank you.
Okay,
cheers again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Thank
Abigail
you.
still triggered you, and she still has control over you.
So she has switched the argument from you need to set boundaries to now being triggered. So in other words, what Amber is telling us is don't set any boundaries, right? But you must play like you're not being triggered by someone that has done something different, and you must let them into your sphere no matter what. In other words, Amber's whatever she's arguing is that, hey, don't mind what the person has done, to you, and you just saw what they did. Just keep going around them nonetheless. Hey, they may have, I don't know, put a couple bullet holes inside your leg. Don't worry about them putting the bullet holes in your leg. Go right back over there again. This is the type of advice that gets you unalive. This is the type of advice that gets you in a lot of trouble.
I'm not allowing Shayla to have that control over me. Period.
I get what you're saying. So forgive her. But I ain't got to mess with you again.
Listen, I told you, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't care. Her and Anthony want to be stupid and do something stupid again. That's on them.
This doesn't make any sense. And at this point in time, I laugh after all of this. It in a sense. It don't make a sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't want to hear that. It give nobody nothing. It doesn't give anybody anything. So what if her and Anthony is stupid enough again to do whatever it is? The point of the matter is there is a lesson to be learned. And the lesson is boundaries. You never do it the last time and you come back again this time and it's lack of boundaries. This is what's going on. If Amber is to leave Anthony and go with somebody else, it's going to be the same thing because she has not mastered what she's being taught in this moment. And what is being taught is boundaries. Boundaries.
How does it affect you?
I'm good.
Are you?
Obviously. Clearly, I'm good.
It don't sound like it.
No, y'all don't sound like y'all.
Okay,
good.
hold up. So here she is giving you horrible advice about how to deal with somebody who's already a problem.
Is it horrible?
Yes.
No,
If
Shauna
you
needs to pay
think-
for that.
Okay.
I'm not really
You know
mad
what?
at that advice.
Maybe this is another place you need to set boundaries. You need to be better about setting your boundaries so that people know what to expect from you. It's not about taking money out of somebody's check, because if you take somebody's money, you are going to have a big problem. That advice was horrible.
Finally, somebody's starting to give her some advice or make little more sense. So it's like I mentioned, I see the argument and where Danielle is coming from. Because Amber has had no boundaries and she has not put a lot of things in writing. If she were to go ahead and try to see if she could take this money out of Shayna's check, she could get in trouble. Because the truth of the matter is there were no guidelines. She not no boundaries. And that's what I've always been saying. The boundaries thing carries over into everything. She not no boundaries with Kai. She not no boundaries with herself. She barely have boundaries with Wayne. She not no boundaries with Anthony. She not no boundaries with Sheila. She has no boundaries with anyone at all. Now she comes to work and it's the same thing. She has no boundaries. That's what Amber is lacking. Danielle has hit the nail right on the head. That's always been her issue, and this has always been the problem that I have had with the Amber character, contrary to what people believe.
I'm not really mad at the advice, but I do feel like you just should not let her back into your world. You can't trust her. I feel like she got something else up her sleeve.
Okay, she's not in my world.
Okay.
We are.
She in your restaurant. Girl, you couldn't have a
Drinking your wine.
And she's all over your house. What you're talking about, she's not in your world. It's the blindness. I think that people who are Amber fans don't understand that people have an issue with the blindness. It's having this level of blindness and at the same time behaving as though your blindness is right. So you're behaving like you're right in your wrongness. That's what people have the issue with. That's why people call Amber over the top. That's why they give her that critique. And it's not invalid. It is not invalid because you see it happening again.
A seat up in my restaurant. Don't want, and then she wasted the wine at that. You see what I'm saying? That's her character
We
right
need to
here.
start listening to her more. This is funny and insightful.
I hear you, but what would Jesus do?
Jesus will forgive her and Jesus will not deal with her
That's
never
not
again.
true. That's not true.
You ain't seen him hanging out with Judas? They wasn't kicking, they wasn't going to
But
play ball.
he knew what Judas was doing. They was definitely having dinner.
Look,
I would.
the
Listen.
point stands that she is trouble. And that you need to be careful and you need to set boundaries for everyone in your life, including you.
Well, I definitely did. Set some boundaries, Shauna. You know what? As a matter of fact,
She has switched again. In other words, she don't think she need to set boundaries with Sheila, but she need to set boundaries with Shauna. That's what I'm talking about. When you talk to Amber, that's what I talk about. But let's see if maybe later, she might come to some, realization that she hasn't been setting boundaries, but she lacks boundaries. She does lack boundaries. This has always been Amber's problem. She has the issue of boundaries. We've always been saying this. This was the reason why Sheila got away with what she got away with for so long. The lack of boundaries. Remember when Sheila came into our house without skirt? Coco talked about this. Who else talked about this? Mama Brenda talked about this. This is not new. This is what people's issues are. That's why them rip on the Amber character so much, because them see her doing the same things over and over again and is acting as though she right. Give me a take. Is Danielle correct? Boundaries. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to y'all soon.